Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back once more to Frostpunk 2. Yeah, we continue onwards with our city that we have. I mean, this time around we're starting with a city right away. That's actually pretty interesting, I think. And we keep expanding to something truly massive, I guess. An old enemy, Stuart, it was only a matter of time. We had an unusually long streak of mild weather. But now meteorologists are clear. There's a familiar drop in the air pressure at higher altitudes. A whiteout is coming. The wind will cause extreme cold and the clouds will blot out the sun. We will be ready. A whiteout arrives in 80 weeks and the heat demand for this will greatly increase during that period. Whiteouts are more or less the new storms that we have. Right. Also, the bio-waste drum hothouse has been finished. That is something we're going to need for, yeah, my food production, right? The hothouses that we have with that. Also, the promise to the machinists we have pass a city development effort at the moment. So let's also have a quick look at this. For city development, we need to have another one. And this one affects the economy. Enforced right now is the expedition support. Exploration time is decreased. Now we can go for the city development effort because of the promise. And everyone must support the extraction work in an effort to gain more resources. This actually makes sense to me right now since there is a storm coming and we need more coal. And the material output per capita is increased with that as well. So let's actually propose this one. The majority is already in favor of this. So I think we can go ahead and vote right away. And we should win this one easily. There it is, and it has been passed, and we don't need to do any new promise. I'm glad for that. And the machinists are delighted you kept your word. They now look upon your rule more positively. Also, the relationship with them is being improved, as we also can see. To neutral at least. Well, I guess we were neutral before, but that's that. Now, I would like to also continue with this new building that we have. That is the bio-waste drum hothouse, right? Diseases is slightly increased, but it is increasing the food output significantly, and since we're growing a bit faster, let's actually get this one in here as well. This is going to yeah, be my next food developments that we have. Now coal is still also a problem, and we only have this extraction district there right now. I don't have anything else, but I think we should have another coal slot available. We have, so I can get a second dust coal slot in, and with that boosting my output again, because don't forget we expanded this district here already, and this should give me additional output. What's up next? Ooh, doing here reading assignment. Mandatory school promises a better future for the children. Now we still have those missions here right now. One of them is pass any law in the outsider category. Very well. I would like to do this. We're just going to wait for the cooldown. A permanent source of fuel outside, and also the food colony. For this, once again, we need to find ourselves a way station. There is one, right? So once again, I need to kind of like dig my way over there. Feels kind of like a puzzle, right? That we're doing this. Going towards these locations. There's nothing over here. Oh, actually there is one as well. At the exits of my little crater that we have. And we will dig then to both of them if we need that. Alright, also we have a nice coal output again, so we can stockpile right now. Very good. That's going to be important. There's actually a heating increase again, so it's going to get a bit warmer before it's getting colder. Next up, I would like to research more in the logistics space so we can get more explorers out there. And for this, yeah, once again, we can have a look at the factions, and totally right, each of these factions offers me a different invention, right? So the foragers, for example, give me the Vanguard logistics bay that costs more workforce but provides 15 Frostland teams. On the other hand, the machinists give me the automated logistics bay that only costs 500 workforce and only gives me 10 Frostland teams output. Since we have quite a bit of workforce, I would actually go for the Vanguard logistics bay and handling only essential survival gear with this. Let's develop the idea. Another thing we can prepare is another materials extraction zone. Now this material extraction zone here gives me coal, right? and it does cost me 90 materials, extraction district. If I build another extraction district, I can actually get materials out of it if I have it in one of my frozen forests here, for example. Since materials is something that's actually required right now, and it's also pretty much required by any other district, I should probably push this a bit further. And yeah, we have the frozen forest right here. The only question is, can I build it right on top of it? Yes, I can. Very good. And we can just make it right next to this street that I already have there, right? So that we combine this once again. And I would also like to go ahead with another housing district then in the middle here, in between, before we go to the industry zone out there again. So you can also, of course, decide on how you want to structure your city this way, I think. Next up on the list, Roberta Neumann. Technocrats have formed in opposition to the Ice Bloods. The city is changing. We started a family here, we bore children, but now these Ice Bloods, they walk around telling people what to do, what to think. What they spout though is utter folly. Alright, so a new faction we have. The Technocrats. 12% of the city already. Coming out of the Machinists as well, or have organized in a faction. They are for progress, equality and reason. And unlocks the assist researchers community action as well. Also, they seek to pass these laws here that we have, right? Except all outsiders, I can already say that I'm probably not for this, but we'll just see. So we probably will have to give them a new promise then as well. Let's just quickly check it out. Can we expand the logistics district in the meantime? I would like to do this to get more expedition teams out. There you go. So also another expansion over there. And there it is, a new law. We have the promise here still for the outsiders that pass any law in the outsider category. And it's a bit interesting there because we have two very interesting choices. And the first one is allow productive outsiders. This will increase my population growth marginally, but it also increases my heat stamp income per capita. On the other hand, if we accept all outlanders, we get a pretty big population growth in addition, right? Both of them are totally valid in this case here. And I would like to go with the productive outsiders. This is actually supported by the Ice Bloods, while this one here would be supported by the Technocrats. Yeah, I can't have everything all the time. And this will not be probably for it right away, so we need to, once again, negotiate. And the Technocrats will not do this. The Machinists and the Foragers, both of them are open to negotiation. Let's have a look at the Foragers here. What would they like to do for me? Expedition support. And the worker shifts, the weather adjusted shifts, protect worker health. Workplaces must adapt working hours to the weather conditions. I think this time around we can also just go ahead and fund projects for them, right? And this will cost me some heat stamps, but other than that they will be fine and we can vote on this. And it should get voted then right away. Very good, a new law has passed. Honestly, I'm a bit overwhelmed right now with all these laws, right? Because all of them are valid in their own, for their own reasons. And it's always another faction that you hurt with that. So it's going to play a major role of what factions we actually want in the city and what factions we don't want to have in the city. Yeah, this is probably the most important choices that you can make. The city grows. Stuart, a new count has revealed significant growth in our population in recent weeks. Some attribute the rise to an influx of settlers from the Frostlands, others to births outnumbering deaths. Whatever the cause, we have adjusted. 1,600 more people in the city. That's actually a pretty high number. And with that, we have a population of 9,597? Not higher? Shouldn't we have pushed 10,000? And the Ice Bloods rallies build support. So they show me how hardened they are, and they promise, or they claim to believe how the city can be improved further. They have some demands for this, and don't show their support. This would be the worst option here. I promise the weather adjusted work shifts. This might actually be something that I can go as well. The other two, especially here, the dutiful youth is probably a bit too extreme, right? So let's go ahead and do the weather adjusted shifts, because this is also something that one of my other factions like. I think the Technocrats. And a broken vow, the expedition support, and we can promise to restore this one too. Alright, let's just quickly check it out again out here. We're still getting in that food here, right? Yeah, that's still the food deposit. I have 10 teams again, so we can actually go for the valley now, right? There might be some coal finding here. This looks interesting. The rest require a lot of teams, right? There's another 10 here with more food finding. And then we have the hills and the mountains. So let's go with this valley here again. A new expedition that we can go with. I love the seamless transition between those. Meanwhile, the next extraction zone has been finished, and with that we're now turning wood into material to a total output of 165. We're still not totally equal here, right? So 38 material is still left unchecked. However, also my housing need is going up because we need more workers and more people move to the city. So also another housing district. This will of course once again then also increase my food consumption, though we have a nice comfortable surplus there right now. Also building this one here should... Well, there's smog coming out of the extraction zones. We gotta be careful where we place this housing here. In those zones, rather not. There's then the smog coming out of that. Even though it would increase the heat, right? That would be fun. Let's actually have it here, right? Because this is between the food and the housing district. There's lots of heat then here as well. There you go. And no smog. And the Vanguard Logistics Bay has been finished with that. Also, the warmer season is upon us right now. So this is, at least for now, reduces the amount of heat that we need to produce. And with that also significantly increases my coal output that we have for now. So we can stockpile some coal up to 30,000, which to me seems rather high right now. All right, another 77 foragers join the Ice Bloods. I don't know, these guys here seem too radical, right? Ensure survival of the fittest and the strength must be rewarded. It's not really a faction that I would like to boost or bolster. Let's have a look at the logistics district that we have, because here we do now have the Vanguard Logistics Bay. This gives me 15 Frostland teams. I take it. And with that, we placed it here. We're down to 600 workforce now only. So now we're getting a bit tight on workforce. Should still be fine though for a while. And also here, the next housing district is coming along. Alright, separated families. Stuart, a large group of people has set up camp outside the city by one of our checkpoints. They claim to be relatives of the outsiders we let in. Oh, this is interesting. Alright, so this is an event coming right after we only let the productive outsiders in, right? This actually led to the problem now that the rest of the outsiders are waiting outside now, and that's their families. Alright. Now, interesting of what we should do. In this case here, let's actually, yeah, since I also want to get rid of the Ice Bloods again somehow, let's actually relax this law, right? And just see what happens then. So the outsiders who were selected to work in the city will be able to bring their family with them. This is a bit of a compromise in between. We are still not letting everybody in, but those that we let in, they can come in complete. So in families. That's okay to me. Seems like a nice compromise that we have. And actually with the Ice Bloods, we're still on favorable conditions right now. Alright, we can also get a new city law going. Research the weather adjusted shifts. That was another promise that I had. And we could have a look at that. So the weather adjusted shifts that we have them, it's the worker shifts, and to protect worker health, workplaces must adapt working hours. We do lose a bit of resource production efficiency, just slightly, but we also reduce the heat demand and also reduce the chance for diseases, as opposed to the machinists where the workforce requirement is slightly decreased, but also the squalor is marginally increased, right? So in this case here, actually I prefer the weather adjusted shifts. This doesn't cost me anything in addition. So we're just going to do this now. This is not really because I want to get the promise for the Ice Bloods done, but rather because I think this is actually the better choice out of the two. This is being researched now, and it still takes 7 more weeks. Should hopefully be on time. Yes, we have 47 weeks to finish this. The expedition support promise I will not do, however. I could still compromise here and promise the foragers some project funding, right? But the expedition support I'm not doing for now. We have 15 on the support team. How's my expedition going anyway? Are we there yet? No, we are not there yet. Right, that would be another thing here. All right, how is it looking with my outputs? So what I can see is housing should be fine now. It is. Fuel is fine anyway because it's rather warm right now. Food is totally fine for a long time, obviously. So I might actually go for more material output, and with that increase the size of the extraction zone up to this area though, right? Further away from the city, because I don't want to get the pollution into the city there as well. All right, mandatory school. Actually, they don't like this. Who doesn't like this? Some think we should reduce theoretical knowledge and provide more survival training. We're filling these kids' heads with numbers and useless junk, complained an angry trapper. We ought to take them on field trips to hunt. Others argue for the exact opposite. We need to teach children how to think and come up with new solutions. Well, my personal believing is that not everybody is made for researching, and some also need to do manual work and love it actually. So for me, a balanced education is the most important thing. However, the game actually tells me this is the worst option because I would lose relation with all communities. Concentrate on science would give me machinists, and focus on survival would give me more improvement with the foragers. However, of course, there could be consequences in either one of these. So let's go with a balanced education. Lots of different decisions we have to make all the time, right? The technocrats are skeptical towards us now. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting them around again. All right. Also, the next upgrade is there. We have broken the promise. That was fine. As wanted. We're still neutral with them. And there's now the next extraction district, boosting my output to a surplus. A small surplus it is, but at least it is a surplus. Workforce is at 300. Coal is really, really nice right now. So I might actually use the resource that we have, the frost breaking. Oh, we need a bit more workforce. We gotta wait a bit, right, for more people to grow again. Also, there's always someone sick. And there it is also, the weather adjusted shifts we have finished. This is a new policy now in effect. Next up on the tech tree, I would like to go for the scout training. So we will train scouts to use advanced technology and techniques in order to optimize exploration. This is good for the machinists and also for the technocrats, the mechanized scouts that we have here. And this will boost our progress in survival, and the exploration time is decreased with that. It doesn't cost me anything as well. So let's go ahead with this. I have no idea why it doesn't cost me anything. I think because it's the basic tech in the exploration tree, right? And the basic tech doesn't cost me anything. Others do cost me though. Yeah, no idea at the moment. Alright, the exploration continues over here. Just around the river bend, we found a sudden bend in the river up ahead north of here. Could indicate an underground resource nearby. And we stumbled across an abandoned caravan of sledges, long since picked clean. Closer inspection revealed wood that had been treated with oil, a crude but effective method. Frozen tracks indicate a sledge from the northwest. Then we get to the hill. There might be some survivors over there. There we have another point of interest. We can set an outpost here. More than enough coal remains to send back to the city. I mean, coal we have plenty of. Let's have a look at that. We need to connect a trail or a railway path to use this location. Now I think establish a food, a fuel, and a materials colony would be my main goals here. Fuel? I don't know right now. Is it coal? I guess so. That we're going to need. And the mechanized scout has been finished. That was the research for scouting. So have a look what else we got here. We got the survival tree, the economy tree that we haven't even touched yet, and the society tree on top of that. Now we have a bit of problem with the health all the time, so hospital might be nice. Workforce requirements are fine, so we could afford it actually. Just depends again on what kind of hospital we want, right? Got a few different options. We got I think the normal one, the hospital, medical treatment. Then the Icebloods would support a recovery hospital with maternity wards and rehabilitation facilities, fully recover before being released. And then we have the teaching hospital, the Technocrats want that, where medical education also takes place. Alright, this actually costs me more workers then, but it also has added bonuses on top of that, right? With more population growth, for example, or with more research speed. Research is not really my problem, so I don't think that we need to go with this. I definitely want to go with the hospital, but we're going with the normal hospital here, right? Also doesn't cost me so much. And very nice, we have quite a bit of workforce again, 1,200. As we're also growing a bit, but only a bit. Alright. Oh yeah, that ration bunker will not last forever. Might be a bit of a problem. And I do have 25 teams available right now, actually. Sounds good. Got the hills here. There's coal and goods available. This one here, I think, was for the survivors. Yep. Yeah, let's actually connect the trail. Oh. Alright, interesting. I guess we need to connect it with this pile here. Okay, it's a trail that actually needs to start somewhere, right? So we can build it here, obviously, but I cannot connect it with the city at this point. So I guess we need to make that foundation for the trail at the city. Also over here, where we do have the expedition district, I can go in. But this is very expensive, 200 heat and 5 teams for 8 weeks. Actually, this would be fine. It's looking a bit convoluted, but it should be fine. So let's build this trail here, and with that we can establish a coal colony then that we are probably going to need for that whiteout that is already coming in with a temperature drop to negative 60 degrees. So that fuel demand will rise significantly soon. We're stockpiled on the coal though, almost close to the maximum, so I guess it should not be a big problem. Alright, next up, extraction zone. Surplus is there. Goods factory we should have. We do have enough output in everything else. Oh yeah, there it is already. Coal season starts. And with that, yep, it's getting really full, really close now. Only 50 coal remain. And then we actually will lose coal again, right? And next up, goods factory. How can we build this? With the industrial district. And yeah, we can push it in between. It doesn't state that it actually pollutes, right? Like the extraction zone. So the industrial district is perhaps pretty good here in this area, close to the food district. Also, shared workers, we get that bonus, and it doesn't require that much workforce. Let's have it here. This makes the whole city more denser in this area, of course. And I think we also still have this one available there to us. Yep, there I can have another housing district primarily. Housing is fine, but not for that much longer anymore. So we'll just see how it goes. Alright, the promise of the foragers has been broken. That's fine though, right? We're still neutral with them. And I don't want to make them any stronger here. So I would rather focus on the machinists and the technocrats. There it is. With that, we are fulfilling more goods demand again. And we can further expand this. However, of course, it also increases my material consumption. But we still have enough output there, so I might actually just expand this one a bit further. There you go. Right, calm weather still, but soon we're going to have the whiteout. The first one. And Technocrat's protest expands to expanded extraction district. And the hospital has been researched. Perfect. A new building that we have. I might actually go ahead and build this now in my housing district if I have a space available. I don't, so we first need to have an expanded housing district. Go ahead and do this. And then we should be ready for it. Alright, we have the protests now. Dust mine coal is destroyed in the protests by the Technocrats. Because they were against it. And I did not destroy it for them. They actually did just destroy it now. Right. Let's build the hospital now. There you go. 200 workforce we have. Hopefully this makes people a bit happier. And also rallying Iceblood's draft legislation. They want conservative treatment. A new law is unlocked with that. And the Icebloods have extended their activities into a new district. They have erected a stage near the hub and hold periodic rallies here as well. During the most recent event, they announced their brightest minds have been meeting treatment. They presented their new policy, conservative treatment. They want me to do this. I mean, honestly, I have no idea what to do here because both of them are bad. First of all, I'm getting forced into a law that I probably don't even want. On the other hand, I could disregard this. This relationship significantly worsens with them, which probably leads to more protests again. I'm not getting... Plus, the Icebloods are a really small faction, right? 20%? It's not that small anymore. I mean, I get it. They're the radicals, right? The radicals with the Technocrats. I'm not going to give in there. I'm sorry. We're going to lose some reputation with them, but that's just how it is. I can't just fulfill any promise they want of me, right? Because the other factions would hate me again. But this once again also makes everything a bit more unstable now because we have those protests. Hit stamps we have. I would like to improve my relationship with the machinists though, so I'm going to give them some money, right? And also actually the foragers, because they're also a bit more in between, right? And I'm also giving them some money there. Some heat stamps, right? This improves my relationship with them again significantly to neutral, so that I have both of these factions at least on my side, perhaps. And there's the whiteout, by the way. I didn't even notice. And with that, also the starvation, a problem in the city, the trust falls. What is going on? This is collapsing rather quickly right now. That whiteout, in addition, is causing a huge food problem. We need a lot of heat, which is still fine. No, did we just consume all the coal we had in 1 second? Negative 100 degrees. Very confusing to me right now. We had 30,000 coal in the stockpile for heating. It all is gone. The Icebloods grow more radical. And that's due to the cold. There's people freezing to death because we don't have enough heating. Yeah, well, that's Frostpunk for you. I think the difficulty does not go down. It's still a bit complicated and a bit confusing, I think, to me at least. And we're trying to figure it out. And of course, as always, trying to prevail in the next episode. Stay tuned.